A bachelor's degree in physics and a master's degree in geophysics took another graduate to the Rocky Mountains. Now at work as a geophysicist, Dortha Doherty also remembers her days as a student.
What you really need to do, I think, when you're a freshman is have something that you can really relate to and belong to, and that's the feeling that I got, especially through our labs where we were always working together and, helping each other rather than feeling like you were competing against people in your class. That's one of the main things that I really liked about it.
After graduating from the University of Oklahoma, Dortha got a job as a processing geophysicist at the Mobil Oil Corporation headquarters in Denver. Here in her office, she interprets data from the field and prepares the data for computer processing. Diane Powell's degree in physics prepared her for a job with Environmental Protection Agency in North Carolina.
I was real happy to be able to put what I had learned to use in what I felt was a worthwhile job that of perhaps helping the environment. The New Avenues program was started with the object of helping women, encouraging women to pursue physics as a career.
Yes.
And when I started the program, we began in a freshman physics class that was composed entirely of girls. And this was a psychological benefit to most of the women because the traditional physics class was 90% men, if not more. And some women felt it would tend to make girls feel uncomfortable. I think that people are taking a look at themselves and seeing that they have been behaving towards women differently than men. And they're now encouraging their daughters to go into fields that were always traditionally thought of as men's field. When I was in the 5th grade, I read an article in a newspaper about a planet that had been discovered circling another star. It was circling Bernard's star, and they called it Bernard's star B. And what struck me as unusual about this article was that they said that the scientists could not see the planet, but they knew it was there. And in the 5th grade, I just could not understand, how a person could discover a planet without seeing it. And my father explained that this was all done by physics. And so I later studied physics and found out how it could be done. That at the time it was a big mystery.
Kind of like your father encouraged you to have an interest in physics.
Oh yeah, he was interested in it himself.
And in math?
Yeah, yes. Which stimulated my interest too. His enthusiasm stimulated my interest.
As Diane has pointed out, attitudes about women in the working world are changing. Here, for example, is another graduate of the Women in Physics program, Paula Sanders.
Well, I'm the repair foreman for Enid City, the city itself, and 6 small cities around Enid. In other words, whenever someone's phone goes out of service or something's wrong with their telephone service, then it's my people that goes out and fixes it. I spend about half a day here and half a day out in the field. So there's a lot of paperwork involved, but that just about takes up half a day usually. The actual study, the actual things that I studied in physics in college doesn't have much to do with what I do here. What helped was just the fact that I had gone through a degree program in college. The actual making it through a degree, the discipline and the self-motivation and the get up and go that you have to have in order to finish a degree in college helps you in just about any kind of a job that you take on.
Was it unique, do you think, for a university to have this kind of program?
Yeah.
Was it helpful? Would you have done just as well without it?
Probably not. I think it was an excellent program that I was in when I was at the University of Oklahoma. it got the women into the labs, got hands-on experience with some equipment and some things that they'd probably never seen and never had any experience with. The actual working with your hands on the equipment is what really impressed me. We had to get in there and do it ourselves. We had to do the experiments. There wasn't anyone else in the lab but just us. And we had helpers, of course, graduate assistants and teachers, but we actually had to do the experiments ourselves and got some real hands-on experience with some equipment that I never had when I was in high school.
How do you think career opportunities for women who have gone through this program are?
They're great. They're great. There are companies and corporations and people just looking for women all over the country now. Your opportunities are just almost unlimited into what you want to do if you're persistent and if you're, if you get out there and look for a job, you can find it. You can find it.
Apart from jobs, a degree in physics often stimulates further interest in physics. Linda McDonald is in graduate school at the University of Oklahoma, where her interest is advanced research.
I enjoy doing puzzles, and to me most of physics is a puzzle. It's a matter of trying to put something together and turn things around and take information and put it together to come out with a picture. It's kind of like an art to me, in that I feel like I'm creating something. I'm creating something that required imagination and a skill. Research, to me, could never be boring. Well, if you can think of it as a whole, it can't be boring. It might be boring. I guess it does get boring when you have to spend all day on the ground putting together the plumbing for the water lines to the vacuum system, or when you spend all day cleaning copper and it still comes out with little spots on it. It's not boring, it's frustrating. Physics have kind of opened my eyes to the world around me, too, in that there's very little that you do that is not a physical phenomenon, a rainbow, or why the sky is blue, or wind. Everything you see around you has some physics behind it.